Okay, let's see what we've covered so far. We've talked about how to configure our styles on the home menu, to configure or modify style head 1 and normal, neither of which we want for this particular indented separator. We talked about how to insert indented separators. We talked about italicizing, bolding, and underlining text. These are the basic formatting issues. The final thing that we need to confront when it comes to formatting for Kindle is adding a title page and a footer. Now, typically what I do is I go and open a previous document that I've already configured for Kindle and use that. So I'm going to do that in this case. I'm going to do a file open. I'm going to go to my writing directory. Now, we happen to have been using one of the first documents I ever formatted for publishing, which is moving violation. I'm going to go back into that directory, and I'm going to find my Kindle version of the file. Here it is. Sorry it took that long. And I'm going to open that up. Now, doesn't that look peculiar? Sorry about that. I'm going to go and open one of the last documents that I worked on. I'm going to go to File Open, and I'm going to go to My Writing. And let's see, it was a document called Overboard. I'm going to go to there, and we're going to pick the Kindle version. Now, I happen to publish for several different platforms, so I have several different headers, but we're just concerned with the Kindle publication right now. So why don't we go ahead and grab this header out of this file. It has the standard stuff that we want to say on a title page. We'll copy it. Then we'll come down here to the bottom to our menu, and we'll select our original document. Here we'll go to before our chapter 1, and we'll paste our header. Now our header says something about overboard here, which wasn't one of our documents, so we'll go ahead and call this our sample document, whatever it is. And it's not by Melanie Jackson, my wife. No, it is by Brian Jackson. The version number here, I like to use version 1.0 for the initial draft. And here we're in July of 2014. This is by Brian Jackson. Copyrighted by Brian Jackson. Anyway, back to the version number. I like to use version 1.0 for the initial draft. After it's been edited by an editor, I like to change that to 1.1. So this keeps track of what version I've got. Once I come out with a major new version, I do a rewrite of this document. I haven't done that yet, but if I do, it'll become 2.0 until I run that by an editor, at which point it would become 2.1. So you can see you have major revision and editing number here. So this is major revision 1 with editing none. Now let's come down here to this title, discover more titles by Brian Jackson. And don't worry, I'm going to put a copy of this template in a central location on the web so that you can get it. This we're going to copy or change the link. If you go up here and go to Insert, you're going to have Hyperlink, and here it shows the hyperlink. We're going to go to author Brian Jackson.com, and notice how it's changed the text to display as well. So now when people link on or click on this in their Kindle document, they'll go to my home page. This is the last modification that you want to make to the title page. Now, when it comes to the end page, I'm going to go back over to Overboard. My wife happens to have published a considerable number of documents, but we're going to take the beginning of it here and do About the Author through eBooks by Melanie Jackson. And we will right-click, copy that, go back down to our menu, go here, go to the very bottom of the document where we already have it About the Author, and we'll go ahead and paste or click and paste our About the Author document. Now here we want to replace text about us. We want to replace this with a link to our home page once again, and to list our books. What I recommend that you do, typically I would think that you would create a template that you could originally open for creating these documents. In reality, what I do is I open the last document that I worked on. I go and I click on File, Save As, give it a new name in a new directory, the new project that I'm working on, and then I go ahead and save it there, and I modify and delete all the contents. What I've done is I've copied over maybe the About the Author and the books by and the title page, but I've deleted the entire body where I can just go ahead and add head 1s and head 2s that are already pre-formatted according to my head 1 and head 2 configurations, or rather our head 1 and our normal configurations.